We're here with Tripp Foster. He's running for Troup County School Board. Thank you for being with us, Tripp.
Thank you, Kendall, for having me.
I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm going to try to tell you a little bit because I could tell you a lot, and I know time won't allot for that. But my name is Tripp Foster, and I was born and raised here in Troup County. Our family has operated businesses in this town for over 110 years, so we're well vested in this community. I made a couple of notes because I want to make sure I get some highlights here. My mother, father, all of my grandparents, my aunts and uncles have all been educated here in Troup County for over the past 100 years. I'm fourth generation. My wife is Stacy Foster, and we have 2 adult children. My daughter Allie is an educator in the Atlanta public school system, and my son is still in college and he's working for Chick-fil-A Corporation here. And I've been an active supporter of Troup County Schools for over 30 years through my business and through personal. I'm a former county commission elected official that faithfully served here for District 3, and I own and operate a tree care business. I've got experience in law enforcement, fire and EMS for 28 years. I worked in public safety in this community, and I was a part of a citizen that arbitrated for tax relief 4 years ago for our seniors who are well deserving. And I'm so proud of our past board that worked hard to get that done for the most needing seniors in our county. So it was a great accomplishment by our past board and by the citizens working together. I've worked actively for 4 years with our current board, and I was recently invited to a roundtable to discuss what to look for in a new superintendent. So I'm very proud that I was asked to do that, very honored. And I'm 55 years young, and I've got the moxie to do what it takes to hit the ground running, to work with the current board, and to lead the Troup County school system into a world-class educational facility.
Okay, well, wonderful. Tell us a little bit about your experience and your leadership qualities that lend well to leading the school system.
Well, Kendall, through my years of experience with the Board of Commissioners, and especially after I served the 4 years working with them closely on other projects, I had the opportunity to help manage over $40 million budgets, to hear citizens' applause and citizen complaints, and to be able to really lend my ear to the citizenry. I always believed that I was elected to be their voice, not to be their decision maker, but to be their voice. And to be their voice, you have to get out there amongst the citizenry and listen to them. And even if overall the citizens wanted something different than I would have liked, I vote to what they want because they're the ones that put me in office. So managing huge budgets, and our Troup County school system budget's well over $140 million. And the way things go in this world, it's going to keep growing. And it's going to take strong fiscal responsibility. And with my years in business, with 37 years in business, with years serving as an elected official and outside the public office, I've built strong relationships with the county commissioners, the city council and staff, and the Troup County School Board. So I feel like I'm the most experienced candidate in this race for District 6, and I'm ready to serve.
And you're going to be stepping into a new position. And so how do you plan to ramp up quickly learning about the school board so that you can continue the progress that's been made so far?
Kendall, and I might have to get you to ask me that again because I had 3 facets to that question. But first of all, I have board experience already in government boards. I understand the Roberts Rules of Order, and they go by that. So I have a strong working understanding of how that board's supposed to work from the get-go. I also understand that relationships are of paramount importance on the board because one person can't get anything done.
That's right.
It takes a majority vote, and on our Troup County School System board, there are 7 elected officials currently on that board. To have a quorum, which is a majority, is 4. And so 4 people must agree on the same thing to pass anything. So relationships are extremely important so that we can build trust with one another. Now, provided I'm elected to this district seat on or before May 21st this year, and on April 29th, early voting starts, and then we have like a May 4th and 11th early vote on Saturday also. So I think our local officials have done great in being transparent and accessibility for elections. But May 21st on Tuesday is the big day from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And I really feel like that I will do well. And ask me the other part of that question, please, because there's one more thing I wanted to touch on. Read that question to me.
I was asking how you are going to be able to make an impact to continue the progress that's already been made.
Okay.
With the past.
Provided I'm elected for this seat, and I know I'm built for public service, the first year my goal is to listen more, so that I can understand the personalities of each board member. I can understand what their passions are, their likes and their dislikes. So as I approach things in the future, I'll know how to better approach certain subjects. Secondly to that, my goal the first year would be to find out what they're passionate about and what they're trying to get done as an elected official, and come alongside them and work hard with them to help them be successful first. So hoping in return, they would be thankful that I worked hard to make them successful, and they would help me to become successful. But at the end of the day, it's about being successful for our teachers and for the children, because our children deserve a world-class education. And provided I'm elected, I will work hard to help that board accomplish that.
So one of my questions was going to be, do you believe that our school system is capable and that our expectation should be for excellence in our schools?
Most absolutely. I believe in delivering a world-class education. It's going to take a lot of hard work. Lip service is simple. It's in the action. It's going to take calculated efforts of people within the administration and hiring firms outside of the administration to help guide us to get to the next level. But I'm committed to do that, and I hope that I can be positive enough to encourage, like provided I'm elected, my fellow board members to do the same, because at the end of the day, they're all here for the children.
That's right. That's right. Do you think there needs to be more collaboration between the Troup County government, the city governments, and the Economic Development Authority with Troup County school system? Do you think there needs to be a structured meeting quarterly or some other point for collaboration?
Yes, Kendall, I do. I think they've done an excellent job so far, but the biggest room in any organization is the room for improvement. So we can always strive to improve. Once we hit certain benchmarks or achieve certain goals, we don't need to settle. We need to keep moving, because our educational climate is ever evolving. And we're getting students from all socioeconomic backgrounds, but not all of them are prepared the same. So having a place for every child, that is so important that we pay attention, and we've got to work hard. I'm not running for this seat just to sit on the board and to smile and look good and get my picture on the wall. I'm here to work.
Well, wonderful. What do you think needs to happen for all of our children to be challenged? They all don't learn the same. Do you think that we're doing the right things? Do you think there's room for improvement? And what specifically would you like to see?
I do believe there's room for improvement. There always is room for improvement. Each child is an individual. Some have similarities. Rarely are they the same. And unfortunately, in the years past, back when I was in school, I've been led to believe by educational experts, and I chose to believe this, that learning was only structured basic for one or two types of learners. And I've been told by experts in the field of education that there's more than one way to teach and more than one way to learn. Some are book learners, some are on-hand learners.
Right.
One thing I'm thankful for among several things in the Troup County school system is Think Academy. When they started seeing the graduation rate about 10 to 12 years ago being lower than they would have liked for it to be, they started coming up and they started networking with people in the community, business people, to come alongside the board and come up with ideas and ways to help fund other than just taxes this institution. Being mainly geared for vocational, there were young children that were having a hard time with learning and reading, but they could learn hands-on like trades and valuable skills. And Think Academy is a gateway to that, thus keeping kids more engaged and getting them to the graduation point. But like I said, there's always room for improvement, and I want to be part of that team to come up with that.
Good, good. So what is your position on charter schools? Would you support investigating charter schools for our children, or do you prefer to keep our school system as it is now?
Well, some people might answer they want to just keep it like it is. I'm willing to investigate, and that's the key word, like you just said, Kendall. I'm willing to listen and hear a presentation and then network with the other people on the board, with the superintendent, with people in the community, because community input is very valuable. It's just like a president. A president has a cabinet. Usually people wiser than he or she would be are surrounding themselves with. And I believe in the same thing. And I've actually got a circle of people in this community who have retired from Fortune 500 business companies, who have retired from educational institutions, from elementary through higher learning. And I want them in place so that I can bounce certain things off of them that is not executive privilege as far as an executive session with the board, so that I can come back with more wisdom. So when I share things with the rest of the board, we can make a better decision collectively.
So in your response, it sounds like that you're going to be proactive in actually researching outside of meetings and in your workplace meeting and your board meetings, that you want to do more research and have people that are coming alongside you in potential like someone you're going to bounce ideas off of, or
Yeah.
actual something structured for other
Very, very structured, and I believe in that because when we bring more heads to the table, I believe more wisdom can come to the table if you pick the right people, and we can come up with a better result. And at the end of the day, not one board member knows everything that there is to learn. We have to depend on people, and the first line that we depend on would be the superintendent, and then the administration under the superintendent. But at the end of the day, I've always believed there are two sides to a coin, and I trust them very much. But I believe in verifying certain information when it's extremely critical to the children's education or it deals with the fiscal responsibility of over $140 million a year. I think it's it's a prudent move on my part, and it's due diligence before man, being the voter, and before God. Mm-hmm.
And what do you think is the biggest challenge facing Troup County school system?
Well, we have a few challenges, and I believe we can overcome each one of them. But the number one challenge right now that I believe we're facing is reading comprehension and literacy. And I will tell you this, and then when we close, I'm going to go back over this. But I have a program that I've started to design with the help of people more educated than I am in this endeavor. Kindergarten through the 5th grade. It's a literacy mentorship program. That mentorship is a key word. It's where we have people invested in the community that we place alongside with the young people in our education system between K-5, kindergarten, and 5th grade. Now, educators tell me that by the end of the 3rd grade, they've gotten about 80% of what they're going to learn. Part of this program is to gauge them through standardized testing that if at the end of the 3rd grade they hadn't hit that benchmark, then we're going to put them in a special program in the 4th and 5th grades so that we can get them above passing, so that when we pass them off to middle school, they will succeed. They will succeed at the high school level, and I believe more will go to college and succeed, thus giving a world-class education to these students. They deserve it.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to address?
Nothing major. It's just a major work in progress. And some of the board members see the same things. Some of them see different things. That's why it's important to listen, because there's no way that I know everything that there is. Through my past experiences on boards and working in local governments as an elected official, I've learned a lot, but there's always more to learn. So my first year, if I'm elected, is listen, learn what they're passionate about so I can help them achieve, because the children win in the end.
I'm going to give you a couple minutes to tell the community why they should vote for you, Tripp.
Well, Kim, would you grab that for me? Thank you so much. All right, first of all, in closing, I want to say that part of my platform is to restore educational excellence in the Troup County school system. And that's a simple phrase, but there's a lot of work involved in that. I want to support the teachers in the classroom. It's been my strong understanding for years that unfortunately they've had disciplinary problems with students in the room disrupting. When disruptions happen, it takes away from the lesson time. The more that happens, students' grades start dropping because they don't get the full instruction. And unfortunately, we start seeing bad averages at times due to that. So those are things that I want to support the teachers in the classroom and hear on their level what's really going on in some of these schools. I want to implement life skills classes back at the high school level, home ec, driver's ed. People don't know how to read a tape measure. They don't know how to check oil in the car, how to change a tire safely and properly, credit this day and time, buying your first house. I want to bring bankers, people in real estate to structure this course. I want to call it Life 101. And also, obviously, I'll form, the Lord willing, the Life 102. But 101 would be required to graduate, because I want to make sure our people are prepared. Safer school campuses, they're doing great at that right now. There's always room for improvement, but they've taken major strides in the last 2 years, and I'm thankful for that. I always want to consider our teachers' pay raises to make sure that we're above average for the state. I don't want to be below, and I don't want to just meet it. I believe our teachers here work hard, and I want to invest in our teacher workforce here in Troup County Schools. So I'm always want to be looking out for that, of how to be fiscally responsible while rewarding our employees that deserve it. And like I mentioned lastly, kindergarten through the 5th grade, a literacy program. I think it's so important, because I think that is one of the number one challenges right now. And this can be done. When I was invited to the roundtable, I had experts there that told me, and the people that also in the room, that they have done that in Kentucky and other states. And so now I'm already starting to find out of places where it's been successful. And I want to lend that information to the current board, whether I'm elected or not, but I trust that I'll be elected. And I want to lend that to them so that we can get this thing in motion, and that our literacy will pick up and become better, and by leaps and bounds. And I'll tell you this in closing, that being a former elected official, I have a lot of experience working with boards. Relationships are important. I have worked close with city and county governments and the school system, so I have a strong rapport with all three of those boards, so I'm prepared. The last 4 years, since 2020, I've worked hard with the Troup County School Board. Leadership is a hard place to be in some days. It's not easy. You can't always make people happy every single time you make a decision. Nick Saban, the famous football coach for the University of Alabama, now retired, once said, leadership is a tough place. If you want to make everybody happy, sell ice cream, okay? And I don't think I could argue with that. I like ice cream too. But I am the most experienced candidate with relationships with the city, county, and the school system. And Kendall, in closing, I am committed, I'm prepared, I am the most experienced, and I can hit the ground running on day one. And I appreciate you and April Ross for having me here today.
Well, Tripp, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you being here, and I look forward to hearing more from you.
Thank you so much, Kendall.